Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humans of Moving, a Supermove Original Series. I'm Ryan Marsh, your host, and today got Adam French with Adam's Moving Service out of Seattle, Washington, who's rated one of the top three best movers in Seattle for many years now. Adam, I appreciate you joining my man. How has everything been going?
Well, it's been quite a couple of years. I was just so grateful that we stayed at a position that we weren't way overextended and we were able to just kind of circle the wagon, so to speak.
Good to hear, man. So
Yeah.
I love hearing basically the journey, how you got to where you are, how you decided to start. You started your company during your college years. What was that like? How did you ever have like an aha moment, once you started this in college and was like, hey, I think I got something here.
My grandma helped me buy a pickup truck, and I was going to the University of Washington, and I had friends that kept, giving me $50 here and $50 there to move a couch, something really quick and easy. And I really enjoyed it. And Craigslist had just come on the scene. This is
Oh,
about
great.
20 years ago now. And I kind of stumbled across it, saw there was a labor and moving section, and I put an ad on Craigslist, and there was only maybe one or two other people that were advertising at Craigslist on Craigslist at that time, and so it was immediately successful. My phone was blowing up. I was doing all kinds of haul this here, haul that there, whatever it was, stuff to the dump. I loved it, and it was great money. So I graduated college about a year after that, and my plan was to go to get a master's degree in psychology. And I was at this crossroad because if I was going to do a master's program, I was probably going to move away from the Seattle area. And so I decided to just devote, for the first time, full-time attention to growing the moving business and see what was down that road. And I'm really glad I did. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of slow learning curves on a lot of different things. But I had this aha moment, to get back to your question. I was still a student, and I was doing a move for a client, and we were just talking over the course of the move, and I asked her what she did for work, and she told me that she was a cashier at Trader Joe's grocery store. And I told her what my plan was. I was going to do a master's in clinical psychology. And she said, "Oh, I have a degree. I have a master's in clinical psychology." And so, foot in my mouth moment, I said, "Well, why are you a cashier at Trader Joe's?" And she said, "Because it pays better."
Well,
Right. So that was the look on my face as well. And I'm like, "Oh, like this plan needs to be reevaluated." So it was in conjunction with that graduating, and I just kind of had this like the universe was pushing me down a different path. So I pursued that, and I just slowly grew it over time. There was, no partners, no investors, and just organic growth. Like this, I bought a second truck, out of necessity, and then the third and fourth, and that was we were off and running.
that's awesome, man. No, I love started with Grams in a pickup truck and look where y'all at today. I mean, you guys are doing some amazing things. It's been fun following your journey for the past couple months that I've known you here. But as a fellow mover myself, right, over the 12 years, I ran into so many challenges over the years. What was one of your most difficult challenges you've had to face basically while, standing up the moving company, or it doesn't have to be from the beginning, but what's been one of your mass challenges that you'd say? Because it's crazy how they differ between company, market, state, what have you. But if you had to narrow it down to like, man, there's this one challenge, this one time that, woo, like it got me.
I wouldn't say there's one. I would just say that there's just so many curveballs that come your way, and you have to learn how to solve problems and work your way through. And sometimes it's trial and error, to figure out the course of action. And there's a lot of mistakes that get made. I'd say like the whole like HR, dealing with employees and employee retention and employees that, want to take a pound of flesh when something goes sideways, you have to fire them. There's that whole wing that nobody teaches you about. There's no, instruction book on how to handle it. That stuff. You just have to figure it out as you go.
Yep.
That's been one of the hardest things, I guess, uh, over time. There's easy ones like customer service. How do you take care of a customer? Well, it's not hard to figure out, how to do the right thing and how to resolve conflict. And at least for me personally, that one was not one of the big challenges for the areas of moving company. I'd say employees is probably the biggest one.
No doubt. Like I'll echo that all day long. But I look back, like even 20, 25 years ago, like there was none of these Facebook groups where movers could get a little bit of intel and hey, what worked, what didn't, what'd your journey look like? What are you seeing? How's peak been for you this year?
We are so tied to the housing market, and so because the interest rates have been so elevated, it has the last several years have been kind of a sugar high with low interest rates and stimulus money and a hot job economy. So they've been really good, And then last year, the interest rates, stayed elevated for longer than maybe people thought. They really pumped the brakes on buying the new house, and so it was just there was just kind of a muted peak season, and I think what's happening this season is that the interest rates are starting to come down a little bit and people are purchasing homes again. Those are picking up. Um, I'm definitely noticing like a price conscious customer. There's always going to be like the percentage of customers that are going to price shop. They're going to book based on the lowest price they can find. That's always going to be consistent. But I feel like people are really sick of inflation and they're sick of elevated prices beyond, just sticker shock type of stuff. So I think that's a big one. I mean, like I said, every season has its own challenges and every year it's different. But we've had a good season, and I do attribute that to our partnership with Supermove and using the software for the first time and having certain follow-up protocols in place now that we haven't had before, and just being like hyper focused on that, speed to lead time frame, and just providing like engaging correspondence. I mean, yeah, we basically just revamped this whole entire company sales process. So it's working out. We're really excited, and I'm really excited to see where we're going to go.
No, man, I love that. I appreciate it. And yeah, the automation is probably one of my favorite pieces, right? So I want to say you want to have that hands-off approach, but at the same time, you speed to lead, as you mentioned early on, you want to get that quick response back to the customer, but not just a quick generic response. Finding out that a more personalized piece through the automations, you think is definitely assisting with closing rates and keeping that customer experience where at the level of what you guys are expecting.
We tried a bunch of automations. We haven't cracked the code on set up the automation so it seems like it's from a real person. So that's coming. So what we're doing now is we are literally just sending a personalized message. We have some templates in the library, and I have written those templates for, I call them like ninja follow up and like samurai day two, like, and then we just put their name in there and we put our name. So it takes a little more time, but I've started doing this at the end of July, and the engagement has gone like through the roof. Like you would click on someone's profile and you would go to the SMS and you would see our day 1, 2, and 3 follow up, no responses for a big percentage. Now you're seeing engagement almost on every message. Yeah.
That's great feedback. Very, very interesting. And so you more or less kind of curtailing that message based on previous conversations with the customer, or is it just
Yeah.
no, it's
Okay.
how are you, I
Well,
guess, how are you getting that messaging across where you're getting that engagement? What are you tweaking that's a little bit different? Like I'm
okay.
definitely
All right. So here's one that we do. Any quote that we gave the same that for say today, Tuesday, say 3 or 4 o'clock, we have a template that says it's just titled "Leaving the Office," and it says, "Hi, Sarah. I wanted to personally follow up with you on the quote I sent you earlier today and see if you had any questions and then see if you're ready to book this move. And then the salesperson will put their name in. And then that one goes out. That one's been pretty good, to be honest, because
Wow.
we're kind of monitoring this into the evening, and so people will definitely feel comfortable like just texting back quickly for a quick question. So I really like it, and that component about Supermove, I didn't think I was going to like as much as I do, but that's been one of the components, one of the spokes of this game changing like evolution that we're going through right now.
That's great, man. So now I know what you love. What about your employees? We'll say inner office in sales team. What do they
Yeah,
value the most?
they absolutely love it because before we didn't have any kind of gauge on who's the best salesperson, and now we do. Now we can say, hey, my closing ratio, for this week was 44%, and then there's another guy in there who's like in last place, not by far, but so I just sent a little screen grab of the sales performance and sent it to the team, you know, and I was kind of was like, hey guys, we're like definitely moving in the right direction, and the one guy that was in the upper 30s, he was like, well, I that doesn't work for me, and so we're using that for, just like make everybody better, so I think I shared with you that we got into the 50s for the first time as an average as a team. For the
Thank
first
you.
10 days in August, we had 54% closing ratio. And so like we've come a long way just in this short period. And having Supermove to kind of have those metrics to just kind of refocus, and just stop doing it the way you've done it for a decade. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
love that statement there. And the guy I used to work for, I love the guy to death, Bo, over at Nagley Moving and Storage. Every single day, I feel like he hammered it home is find new ways to work, right? Every day, almost. Again, what worked last year might not work this year. What worked historically 10
Oh
years ago
yeah.
is not going to be in your back pocket and work today. So we're always trying to break the process that we had, always tried to make it better, always tried to streamline. And you guys are doing the same thing, man. But having 50+% closing ratio, like I know you guys, your June was killer. I know your July was absolutely incredible. So I'm pumped to see where August goes. How about your cruise? I didn't give you any privy
Okay.
knowledge of this going forward, but like the cruise, crew apps, are you finding that the drivers are getting more tips? I know that's a lot. That's a big thing that I'm hearing now is crews are getting more tips.
Um, we have the digital timesheets. It tells the customer when we've arrived. All the documents is right there. We don't have to fumble around the truck to find a liability release waiver or a supplemental estimate. It's all right there. All the documents you're going to need is right there. And so they're kind of working on that, which is another great thing about Supermove. Like we during our setup process, like we needed stuff that Supermove was like, oh yeah, we don't do that. And they're like, we'll build it for you though. And so they have been absolutely amazing with the implementation and the rollout. Overall, the crew, it's nice to have tablets in the field instead of paper invoices. And man, we are just excited.
You guys are rocking. So I want to make sure I respect your time. But so you ready for these three hot seat questions? First question: what is your biggest pet peeve?
Loud sounds.
Perfect. Second question: if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life,
Sushi all day. Sushi all day.
oh, I love sushi, but only like doses here and there. I'm a pizza guy. Obviously, you can see my face from eating too much pizza. But yeah, I love sushi too. But last question: what is the weirdest gift you've ever received?
Uh, my wife got me some. She got me this panther suit. It's like yellow and it has these black panthers, and it's one of those matching shorts and button up shirt combos that you wear, up to the beach, and everyone looks at you like, "Are you being serious with that outfit?"
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation piece. It's funny you mentioned the suit. I actually have shorts and a top with a collar. It's almost like a beach type suit, that
Yeah.
beachy material, but it's all bananas. Adam, like I said, I respect your time. Get you on the road. Thank you again for coming on the show, and thank you all
Yeah.
for watching and turning into Humans of Moving. We love to have you on the show, and if you're a mover or shaker or just as passionate about the industry as myself and Adam are, please reach out to me. Love to have you on. Ryan at supermove.com. We'll see y'all soon.
Thanks, Ryan.